everybody, and welcome to Weight Loss Wednesday. I'm Chef AJ, the author of Unprocessed, The Secrets to Ultimate Weight Loss, and Own Your Health, and this is where I show you recipes for healthy, permanent, and sustainable weight loss. So many of you have gotten the Nutramilk machine and asked me to show you more recipes using that, and specifically, people have asked, can you make milk from the whole oat groat? And the answer is yes. It's just as easy as making it from the rolled oat. I'm going to show you how. It takes about 2 minutes. But you also asked if I could show you how to set the machine up, because usually when I do the recipes, the machines are in place. So that's what I'm going to do first. So if you have the Nutramilk machine, the first thing you want to do is you have all your pieces out, and then you take, I don't know what the pieces are called, but the thing with the spigot. So that'll be the thing you put on first. And they have these little arrows that show where the spigot goes and what is locked and what is not locked. So you want to have the spigot in line with the little drawing, and then you put it on. And then I don't know if you can hear that, but it sort of makes a click. It doesn't move. Then you take this piece, again, I don't know what it's called. It's the one with the screen. And it only works one way. You'll know because it won't move. So if you have it in wrong, it's going to move. But if you have it in correctly, it won't move. So then you have your blade, just like you would in any food processor, because this also can be used as a food processor, which is why I love it, because it has this thing, which are like wiper blades. And ever since I got the Nutramilk machine, I haven't been using my Cuisinart food processor, because I like this better, because in addition to the blade, it has these wiper blades that turn. So when I'm making a recipe, I don't have to keep stopping the machine, opening the top, scraping down the sides. The machine does it for you. And then again, they have little indications which way it goes. It only goes correctly one way, and then it will lock. You'll hear that, and then you can press the top down, and again you will hear that it locks. Then you know it's correct, and then you plug the machine in. I never plug it in while I'm working on it. And then you turn it on. So it's fairly simple. It's got 4 buttons: butter, mix, dispense, start, stop. And then I take a little container for when I'm making the milk. And so today we're going to use oat groats. What are oat groats? Well, if you haven't tried them, there's a couple of recipes on this channel using oat groats. Oat groats are delicious. I buy them in bulk. If you don't have a bulk section in your store, you can get them online. I can link in my Amazon store where to get them. And if you are avoiding rice for any reason, oat groats are a great substitute because they're a whole grain and they're very, very toothsome, and you can get them gluten-free. They're naturally gluten-free. The reason oats sometimes are contaminated with gluten depending on where they're sourced or things like that, but oats inherently have no gluten, and they're really, really quite delicious. I recommend if you eat oats, like for breakfast, you eat the whole oat groat rather than the rolled oat, which is actually the 3rd incarnation, or the steel cut oat, which is the 2nd incarnation, or the what's the next one? The instant oat, which is the 4th, or the puffed oat, which is the 5th. This is the wholest grain, and it's actually the most delicious. And once you try it, I think you'll agree. And if you have an Instant Pot, you can cook them in 5 minutes. Now, one of the things that's nice about the Nutramilk for making plant milk is you don't have to soak your nuts and seeds like you do with other machines or other methods. But they recommend you soak your oats. You don't have to. If you watch my recipe for milk that tastes like a Cinnabon, I think I call it cinnamon bun milk, where I used a combination of oats and pecans, I didn't soak and there was no problem. The reason it's recommended to soak your oats and oat groats is because a lot of people don't like the sliminess. However, there are people that like the sliminess. If you like it, don't soak. You know, if you think about foods like okra that have natural sliminess, it's called mucilage, and that's actually supposed to be really good for your GI tract. Well, oats have these too, so there's nothing wrong with not soaking. It's not like anything bad's going to happen. Some people just don't like the sliminess. Now, the rolled oat, you only have to soak for about 30 minutes to 2 hours. But for the oat groat, because it's the whole grain, they recommend you soak it at least 2 hours. You could soak it for as long as 24 though. And when you soak it, this is a cup, but look at this, how it is expanded. It looks like probably 2 cups now. I soak this, I would say, I can't remember, I did it first thing in the morning. It's been soaking probably for about 2 hours. So now what I'm going to do is I am going to put my soaked oat groats in the machine. And get every little bit. Put my wiper blades back. And then I am going to press the butter button for 1 minute, because that is all it takes. After a minute, I add 4 cups of water. Now, if I wanted to flavor it, like maybe making vanilla or cinnamon, or maybe put a date in or some other sweetener, I would have done that at the butter stage. And then I press the mix button. Then you press the dispense button and the start button, and so that whole process basically took about 3 minutes. There is a little bit foam left in here. I could let it run a little longer, and there is going to be some residue. When you make grain milks like oat milks or rice milks, it doesn't go to zero, but if you have other machines or have tried other methods and compared, you'll know that there is a lot less waste in this machine. With things like nuts and seed milk, it's almost negligible. What you see, like for example, if you're making almond milk, that little bit of brown, those are the skins of the almond. So what's really neat about this machine is, except for oats, if you don't want it slimy, you don't have to soak, and you have almost no waste or pulp left. With other machines, there is an extraordinary amount, which when you throw away the pulp, you're throwing away the most nutritious part, the fiber. So I keep these little bottles handy just for storing my milk. The company says about 6 days. I've had it last as long as 9 just to test it, and it was fine, but usually we drink this pretty quickly. I like oat milk a lot because I think it's very tasty and it's a lot less fat and calories than the nut milks, which are very delicious, which I might use, like say, in a soup. But not that I drink milk, but I really do like oat milk. I generally don't do oat groats because they're much more expensive, and I save those for eating, whereas I use the rolled oats, which are very inexpensive. So you can see it's white, it's creamy, it's delicious, and I'm really enjoying this machine. As I mentioned, I'm using it instead as a food processor because the wiper blades are really, really cool. So if you haven't tried oat groats for eating, please consider trying them. There is a discount code available below if you'd like to try this machine. It can replace your food processor, your blender, your ice cream maker, and of course makes delicious, nutritious plant milk so that you don't have to keep buying packaging and get all those emulsifiers and chemicals and salt and stuff in your milk. Thanks so much for watching another episode of Weight Loss Wednesday. I'm Chef AJ, and I truly believe you can have both the health and the body you so richly deserve.